Good morning. I am not for the destruction of organized religion. I hope that none of my remarks were taken to mean that. There's nothing that I would do to go out of my way to destroy a church. That just would never happen. And I do not have that kind of an attitude toward it. I think that when people join together in fellowship, which is what they're doing many times in church, it isn't for the reason of trying to destroy some holy enemy. They are basically looking for company. They're looking for some sort of community with each other, to share some ideas, interconnect, network, meet people, and basically make themselves a little bit easier life, a little bit easier way through the world, because it's bad enough otherwise. And I can understand the belief in an afterlife. I really do. You go through this life, you put up with all of this crap that you have to put up with. You listen to nonsense, you get lied to, you get cheated, especially when an entire nation is lied into a war, and now is being told everything is just hunky-dory in one place, but we'll have to have this other war in the other place that goes on perpetually. That, to me, it puts a tremendous amount of stress on people. They don't even realize that it's happening. And I think that stress is a great threat to longevity in the long run, and anything that you can do to ameliorate that situation, modify it, restrict the level at which stress can harm you, is perfectly fine. Now, if organized religion does that to you, fine. I think it's great. I am just against the idea of attempting to impose it upon others through a theocratic government. And that's what I don't like at all. There's a good book out by Kevin Phillips called American Theocracy that explains how it works in this country as opposed to others. And Noam Chomsky has mentioned from time to time in many of his well-documented books, although sometimes you need to read his books with great care. They are very good, and they do bring up a lot of good points. And he brings up the fact that you cannot make people in a pluralistic, participatory democracy do anything. You can't make them do anything. You have to make them want to do it. And the best way to do that is to develop a sophisticated form of propaganda. And we have the best that there is in the world in this country. It's called commercial advertising. And it has worked to the extent where the economy is based on 70% on consumerism. So that is how it is done here. Now, there are many other levels of religiosity and evangelical religions and so forth, and then of course there's the Muslim religion, and Judeo-Christian, and the Jewish religion, the Hebrew religion. You have different levels of that as well. But in the end, I think that it is necessary to do whatever you can to soften the blow, and I know I do. I may not do it the same way that a dedicated Christian, Jew, or believer in Muhammad would, or a Buddhist. But I do have an overall view. And I'll go over that in my next video when I talk about what my beliefs are as far as an almighty, or whatever you want to call him, and tell you how I soften the blow and try to make my life easier.